Hey guys, hi, welcome back once again. My name is Vaishali, and today I'd like to talk about how fear and happiness both help us survive. So, in my understanding, many of us do understand the purpose of fear in our life, the purpose of fear for our nervous system. It helps us stay vigilant towards the threats that are either real or perceived. And thereby it tries to mitigate our evolutionary fear that was developed in the wild and through the wild of not being chased by a wild and of not being eaten alive. So if fear has a role in survival, how does happiness also contribute towards our survival? So happiness as a spectrum again has been categorized into two categories. Now one is essentially derived out of the little pleasures in our lives. They are momentary, they are fleeting, and they have a very narrow bandwidth. And the other is more long lasting. It doesn't have those peak highs, it doesn't have those elated moments, but rather that sense of happiness is derived from a sense of fulfillment in one's life, from having a sense of purpose and meaning in one's life, and from having relationship with one own self and with others, wherein one finds meaning. So how does that also contribute in our survival? Well, quite naturally, since we are biopsychosocial, meaning-making creatures, if we have that sense of meaning in our life, we are naturally in a state wherein we experience lesser distress. We are in a state wherein our authentic self exists as it is. And as Dr. Nicole LaPera would say, that humans essentially have few needs. The need to be seen, the need to be heard, even while we are a part of a herd, and the need to be able to authentically express ourselves, the need to be able to authentically voice ourselves in a space that is mutually shared, in a space that is mutually shared and co-created, which in my understanding essentially means that one does not feel that internal split from within, that people in that shared space are integrated within and amongst themselves. And so quite naturally, the lesser the internal split, the more we are in harmony with ourselves, the more we are in harmony with our whole selves, the lesser are we in distress, the lesser does our body feel inflamed. The lesser those factors, the lesser the dis-ease or the disease within one's own self. And not just within one's own self, but it's also a co-creation. And when there is mutual co-creation, that reduces distress, that reduces overdoing and underdoing. It quite naturally creates a culture that feels safe for the organism to survive. And when the organism feels safe to survive, to be itself, to be at peace with its own self, it quite naturally becomes less of a threat towards itself and towards the others. So while fear may enable us survive in the short run, not being able to shake it up, not being able to release it, not being able to let go of it from our system creates a lot of distress within the system itself. And the system is not just personal, it's interpersonal as well. And on the other hand, when the system is able to provide a place for every organism to feel safe, the organism quite naturally feels nurtured. The organism is not only able to survive, but the organism is able to survive better, which in fact is thriving. So let's try and see what kind of a system are we creating within and outside of ourselves. Let's try and see what kind of system are we co-creating, and would we like to keep surviving in similar ways? Let's try and think that for ourselves, and I will see you once again the next week. Till then, stay tuned in. And guys, if you do like the contextual content of these videos, please do like, share and subscribe.